Hi guys, Spink here. This is episode 18 of Let's Learn Ageod Civil War II, resuming where we left off. I think there's still going to be some things that we're going to have to look at in depth as they come up, but I think this is going to start to transition into a little more of a traditional Let's Play than it has in the past. I'm still going to explain things to death, because that's just what I do. But I was thinking about how I want to continue on with this. I think there's a lot of good information in this. If you sit down and watch through this, there's lots of good nuggets in here. But if you tried to find something specific, how to do something, say you watch this and then sometime later you go, oh, that was in there, where was that? And you would just have to wade through these hours of this to try to find something specific. So I think at some point I may, or I should, whether I will or not will remain to be seen, make some actual more traditional tutorials that are more concise as a separate undertaking from this ongoing game that I'm doing. But I'm enjoying doing it. I'm really I'm doing this for me as much as for other folks to learn how. So. What did we see? We ended up with, we did our turn, I think is where we were at. We had a really good turn. We won. We're on some pretty good victories. The weather has finally changed. We're starting to see winter start. Keys is eligible for promotion, so let's just walk through and do our movement for this turn. Okay, McClellan's army here. His cohesion is about 50%. Each of these divisions are pretty beat up. Well, not beat up casualty-wise, but cohesion-wise. So their ability to withstand something like Johnston here, should he decide to come after us, he's got. Let's see, he's got a required command of 14, or was it? Yeah, 14. So he might be fairly equal in strength to us, should we be at full strength, which we're certainly not. He does have a division under Bonham and a division under Longstreet. Got probably a little better military, a little better command than we do. Weight 53. Weight 77. So we actually have. I was looking down there about most of the way down the pop-up. It says weight, and that's the amount it would take to. That's how we. What's the word I want to look here? That's how much rail or sea move it would take to move this guy. So, for instance, if we found a, say our transports down here. Where's our transports here? This has a transport capacity of 20, and that's a direct correlation to weight. So this guy has a weight of 77, and these transports are 2. So it would take, or are 20 rather. So it would take 4 transports to transport this army. So as we look at that, we may be able to use that to kind of gauge Johnston's force here a little bit. We have a detection of 4 here, so it's pretty good, not max. I think 5 is as high as I've seen it, certainly since I've been paying attention. But Johnston he's at full cohesion. So I think should he decide to attack us, I think he would certainly have the upper hand. So I'm thinking we may want to pull McClellan back. We've gone in here, we've taken Manassas, we wiped out that unit. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to destroy this, destroy the depot that's here, and fall back to Alexandria. So if the Confederacy wants to come back up here and rebuild that depot, they're welcome to it. And we do have Keys can be he can be promoted. So let's stick him in a group all by himself. Let's take off his division commander so we can see his awesome ratings. And we can do this. Okay, now here's something that we need to pay attention to when we, instead of just clicking the promote button anytime it's available. We'll anger Nathaniel Lyon, who will feel that he's been passed over. So that's Lyon out in Missouri, is of a higher seniority than Keys. So he will feel that Keys is being promoted over his head, and Lyon will lose several seniority points, and we will lose 4 victory points and 0 national morale. So what we have to do is gauge whether or not whatever we gain by having Keys promoted is worth whatever the cost is. And right now, I don't think it matters a great deal. I don't think we need to deal with this right now. So we'll keep in mind that he's eligible for promotion, and maybe put him up when we're able to make a corps commander out of him, or if we decide that we need a major general to command an independent force, and then we'll promote him then. But right now, I think we won't worry about it. These two cavalry units, their cohesion is just gone. So why don't we put McClellan going to fall back to Alexandria here, into Fairfax. And before I leave, we can't destroy the depot. It cannot be raised if it's level 2 or above. So it is. Oh, it's a size 4 depot. Well, that changes things. Do we stay here and risk being defeated in order to hold on to this depot? I don't think this depot is not critical for us. Ideally, we would keep it. Ideally, we would destroy it if we couldn't keep it. But I don't think it's worth getting this army hammered again. So soon after we just got it back into good shape. So I think we're going to fall back to Alexandria here, and maybe even put the evade combat on there to try to get them back out of there, should Johnston try to grab us. Okay, what else do we got here? We got some good forces starting to show up in Washington here. Still no artillery, but let's start another division coming up here. Meager is reckless. Oh, good. Let's make him a division commander then. We like reckless. We'll put one of his Irish brigade we gave to somebody else already. So what's that? 1, 2, 3. Let's give him 2, and then maybe one of these. Make him a division commander and put him together here. That gives him 13. We want to save some space for some artillery. Maybe we'll give him one more of these. Okay. And how we've got one supply wagon there. So maybe we'll take this unit plus another supply wagon, and we'll send this force to Alexandria here to meet up with McClellan falling back. In fact, let's take a look. What if we were to railroad him back? We can railroad him back, but boy, that's going to take a big chunk of our rail power. And that's probably that weight. If we're looking there, his weight is 77. So when we hit rail, that's going to drop by 77. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought it was. I think I may have explained that once before. So we'll bring him back to here, have another division, catch up with him. It'll give us a slight penalty, but that's okay. It'll be a very small one. I think, 5%, maybe 10. These cavalry units, we've got to get them recovered. They have 0, essentially. cohesion, so get them built back up. Okay, so we've taken care of that. We've got this unit, got some more force here for this guy. Now since Johnston went all the way down here, and God knows where the Army of the Potomac is. Is this it? Oh, it's down here. That's kind of opened us up in Harper's Ferry here. What do we know? We've got an artillery unit, and I don't think we have anything else here. We have some force behind it, but we don't know how big. What if we were to why don't we send both of these guys in? Put them on offensive. Okay, this synchronized movement thing we could do if we were part of the same army, but I don't believe we can do that without that. What did you got? 6 elements. Okay, with Burnside we added some more troops here. You can see we're at a 10 needed here, but if we grab these two, we can stick them in Runyon's division here. Since we had space, that's why we brought them, and that knocks us down. So we got rid of that command penalty for doing that. No command penalty there, so that's good. Hopefully one of these guys at least will get will be activated, and we'll come in and take Harper's Ferry back. And we've got a little bit of force now. We're going to be able to withstand them trying to throw us back out of there. Well, we could make him a army, but Butler thinks he gets to be the next army. Okay. Well, let's just go through our units here. Blanker. The weather, it's mud now. I think he's just we're basically gonna start button up for the winter here on these guys, I guess. Contrabands will stay there. We've got our division. We've got a supply wagon. We're going to just hang out there. Do we have? We don't have any shelter here. That's kind of... but if we hold Alexandria and Leesburg, then we don't really need one. We don't really need to hold this area because we'll have these two. So hey, why don't we take Humphreys and combine him with Stone here? So then we'll be able to take, between the two of these, we'll end up with one division commander and then a force commander. I think that's going to work. Okay. Next, there's Stone. So whichever of these two guys is senior, he'll be the force commander. Okay, we have these guys that we unfortunately got a little smashed due to my negligence. I'm going to put these on passive so that they will recover their cohesion. We're in a depot there, so we might actually get some of our lost hits recovered there. Let's see how many of these we have. We've got 3 of those. The odds of getting one of these replacement things, there's a algorithm to determine that, and the Union forces have a 50% chance of doing that less than what the Confederacy does, because it says that the Union forces during the war did not habitually reinforce existing units; they just built new ones. So it'll take us a little bit more time to do that. Well, that's a unit. Oh, I see. This is not actual. So when we see these little forces like this, that's not actual our steamboat transports. This is actually our riverine points that are moving these guys. Okay. Okay, down here in Mound City, what are we looking at down here? They've got enough military control here that we can't pass supply through there. We're not really passing a great deal of supply through here. Where's our... We probably could do with a depot here in either Lawrence or Leavenworth. Um, we're in Mound City now. It's snow. It's not as bad. It can go up to worse. It can be a blizzard. But I think there's a chance that we can lose, take attrition just for snow, because it says harsh weather. So I think anytime we're in harsh weather, that's an indication that we can suffer attrition due to weather. We've started getting our units combined down here. We have a militia force, another militia force. What's our 15%? Let's take this militia and combine it with that militia. Just cuz. And we'll take this. That's inside Mound City. So that will be the garrison of Mound City, whereas we will be the field force. And we'll bring the remainder of it down here. And once we get them all combined up, or maybe we'll bring him to Lawrence. Because what we want to do is basically put a blocking force against what's coming up here. Let them suffer for the winter and the supply, whatever they might do, and then when the situation looks optimal, we'll strike them at that point. That's kind of how I'm thinking with regards to that. We do have Griffin here in St. Joseph. If we were to move him to Mound City, 9 days. A man on a horse. We do have a Fort Leavenworth garrison. And we have this Kansas Defense Force that's coming down. They're going to get here in 2 days. And then we could move them. Ooh, wow, 48 days. Yeah. Harsh weather. Yeah, we might. Well, what if we moved them here? Still 46 days, yeah. I think we want to be very careful about moving our troops through regions that are in harsh weather, especially when there's no pressing need to do so. I mean, there will be situations where you have to get troops to a particular place regardless of the loss you're going to take due to attrition, but this is, I don't believe, one of those times. So we're going to let them gather up here in Leavenworth and then bring them down. Actually, why don't we put Griffin here in St. Joe or I guess Leavenworth here, to wait for that unit to get there. In fact, they'll both get here about the same time, and then we'll combine them and move them down, because I think once we have this leader added to that force that they will move better. So why don't we put him there to meet up with them. Blinker, we're just going to hang. Contrabands, we don't have anything to build for them. We do have to kind of think about what to do out here. We had a cavalry force out here that helped us kind of keep an eye on these guys, but that was Schertz, and he got stomped. So I think we need to think about getting another cavalry unit out here to kind of see what this is all about here. Do we have any cavalry? We don't have any cavalry, so we're going to want to think about getting some cavalry out here, I think. Maybe one of these cavalry regiments that was here, once they recover, we'll send at least one of them out this way so that we can do some scouting. Okay, we've got our military control built up here. I think we've got the at least this portion of the B&O Railroad we have secured. We do need to get it secured out here. I think, yes, this unit here is giving a 100% military control here. So if we switch to the supply overlay, you'll see we can no longer move supply through here like we had been able to earlier. That's okay because we can move through this way, although we have a lot more supply over here than we do over here. But the Wheeling's got a bunch. We're okay. Okay, so he's just going to hang out here. Milroy's a major general, so we can give him another division here. So I think eventually, I think that maybe the plan is we will link these two forces at some point when we decide to go after Charleston, and then Eventually Lewisburg, Charleston certainly. Stone, we've seen you. Cavalry, we've seen them. McDowell's force. Well, we're just going to be building up these forces. Do we want to make another division? Let's make another division. Let's give Hunter a division. Take one of these, one of these, one of these. Let's see what that does for us. This is 12. We can get one more in here. 14. Do 14, and then we'll add a couple artillery units when the time comes up. Maybe do that. Give him a supply wagon. And move him. Oh, let's combine him with Meager. So we'll have these two come up in here, and then we'll have plenty of force to do with it as we want. You know what we should do? We seem to be doing pretty good on manpower now. We should take one of these forces, maybe this one. Let's do that. Let's move these guys down to, say, Fort Monroe and stage them for an invasion, and we'll go and make our first foothold, say, down here in one of our invasions, and we can do that in just a couple turns. We've got enough manpower now that we're not imminently looking at things going crazy. We do have a port here, but with this force up on the Potomac here, I don't know if that we would have a situation where we'd have to run the guns or something. So I'm going to take this division, and let's just drop him over here in Annapolis. His weight is 27, so do we actually have a naval force here? No. Let's go look at the second fleet here. Let's take, that would be enough, but let's take 3, and let's give him one of these scouting squadrons as an escort. Not that we necessarily need it. And send these guys to over this one. And send this to Annapolis, and we'll grab that division. We'll take him down to Fort Monroe, and then we'll send him down and do our first little invasion. I think that might be fun. Transport capacity here, it says, in about 3/4 of the way down, 2/3. Transport capacity 0 of 62, and that again that applies, that corresponds to weight. So if we look at this guy, he has a weight of 27, so he'll certainly be able to transport that unit. So we'll get him here. We'll bring him down. In fact, we don't have to take him down to Fort Monroe. We could go directly from there to wherever we're going to invade. So do that. So if that's the case, let's give him some more naval force to, like the Atlantic Fleet, for instance. We don't have to give him the whole thing. Let's take Farragut. Let's take the Atlantic Fleet out for a spin. Oh, let's take the whole thing. Why not? They've just been sitting here. And we'll send them also to Annapolis, 11 days, so they'll sync up. Something that we want to think about now, since it is November, weather applies in the sea areas as well. And if the weather is rough, we can suffer cohesion hits and possibly more. I believe I took I took the monitor down one time I was playing, and it lost half its strength going through a storm. So we definitely can do that. Okay, so the Atlantic Fleet is going to sync up here. Oh, if that's the case, this Atlantic Fleet has transports. We don't need to bring this force up from. We don't need to bring this force with us. So we'll leave those there. The Atlantic Fleet will come up in Annapolis. We'll meet up with Hunter's force, and we will take them down for an attack. All right, let's keep going here. We have this division. I think we're still just kind of sitting tight there. Lion. Okay, Miles has arrived with Lion. We're now going to split up Lion. We've got a little more. We're pretty stout here, aren't we? We're going to enable division command and add all of these guys up. Hopefully there's enough room for them all. Yep. There we go. So that's 17 elements. So now there's Lion's force. And we don't have a penalty on him, so we're doing pretty doggone good with Lion now. 22 days. I don't know if we want to risk that given the weather right now. Let's see what we brought that up to 70. We can get supply through here. I think it might be foolish to try to do too much during the winter here. Whether or not I want to leave him in Jefferson City or try to get him back down to Rolla. There's woods, hills. Oh, we've got mud down through here too. That's why it took him so long to get through here. I think we're going to leave him in Jefferson here. So if the weather does turn bad, he'll be in cover. Okay. We have this cavalry brigade that we're using to increase our military control here. His supply is good. Military control is 70 there. I believe if the loyalty is high enough, the opposing side's loyalty, you don't have any units in there, I think your military control kind of starts sliding away. I'm not 100% sure on that. Alright, here is the man of the hour, Mr. Hurlbut. Stephen Augustus Hurlbut, presidential elector of the Whig Party. So this is kind of a political general, I guess. I don't know. Let's see, what are we looking at here? We have more troops than we really have effective leadership. We could use another leader down here. Don't know. Do we have a spare one hanging around? We've got a few over here. Why don't we take Morrell? He's a 93. He's 97. He's 90. So as long as we're still going to keep Hurlbut in command of that force there because he did really good for us. Let's take Wood, and I think we might just take another supply unit with us and put them here by rail move. Okay, and that should give us plenty of force in this area to keep that secure. Back here. Okay, we've got everything built. We've got this thing coming along now. We're going to have to kind of keep an eye on what this is going to do for us. Troops entrenched better. I wonder if that just gives us additional entrenchment value. I don't know. Ben Butler. Let's take him off of his offensive or his assault posture. We're building up quite a bit of. Oh, that's for here. I think he's doing okay. So, his supply is. He's not bringing in. Yeah, we have to keep an eye on him whether he's actually getting supply through here or not. He probably is. This unit here has got enough of a force. I don't think we're going to want to push it until we could maybe bring Butler another division or two down. And then potentially let him move a little closer to Richmond, but as long as it's keeping Beauregard down here, that makes me happy. We need to keep the because we do have the advantage in force. We need to spread the Confederacy out as much as we can. Here's our Paducah garrison. Let's just put him on sentry status. Grant is in Paducah or Columbus. We have starting to build up a little bit of supply here, not a lot. It didn't bring any in this turn. Whatever we get is going to be through the through the naval force, using our riverine supply, and you can see we don't have enough now. We need a minimum of 104 to transport as much supply by sea or by river that we need. So we're short on that too, like we're short on everything else. I think we'll just sit here in Columbus though. We've got our military control up nice and good. This is at 90. I think we need to get some cavalry down here to give Grant a little more scouting ability, so we can kind of check out what's around here. I don't really want to push too hard when the weather's bad though. Next, Carson's brigade. Yeah, this guy again. What do we do? He's doing okay because he's got enough supply right here, so he's all right. But all right, guy. I would really like you to attack this guy, if you would be so kind. Thanks. So we have that. This unit here is going to arrive in southeastern California next turn, or this turn during the movement. So that's nice. Carleton Force. What are we looking at here? Oh, they're just wasting away. I don't know if we even need to attack them, but we're just gonna give them a nice finish them off, string them up here. This force is losing. He's down to half supply in the supply wagon. I think we'll just keep him right there for now. This, some decent artillery out here. 10-pounder Parrots, good guns. Don't really know what to do with them. The Flotilla Brigade here has come up. And this is an elite unit. This particular leader is who? He is Buford. And he has the amphibious ability, 50%, 0 of the penalty associated with naval landing, 50% for opposed river crossing. Now that could be useful both on the river as one of our forces that we would use to do our naval invasions. I think, why don't we take him to Annapolis as well? This applies to all elements of the unit that this element is in. So that will apply to these units, these elements. And if we were to make him a division commander, that would apply to all of the elements in that division. Maybe we want to make him the division commander rather than Hunter. His seniority is 80. I'm sure Hunter's is higher, so we'll have him be the division, and then we'll let Hunter be the force commander. That sounds like an idea. We'll move this unit to Annapolis by rail. It's going to take him a little longer to get here than, so it'll delay us a bit, but I think that's worth the wait because it's a pretty cool unit there. We've got some Wisconsin infantry out west. Let's take that to Halleck. We'll give that here. Montgomery's brigade and Connecticut artillery. Let's take these guys down to Washington. What do we got here? That's Meagher's force, okay. Here's that artillery unit that we captured. Let's stick that in the Army of the Potomac. Then we can actually include that in somebody. He's only got 9, but he's got a lot of artillery. He's got too much artillery, really. Let's stick that in with this. Well, we've got more divisions coming down here that don't have any artillery. We'll rejuggle some of this stuff, so we'll just keep him like that. Asbeth, military control is 100. Harsh weather. We're just going to keep him here, I think. Lyon, I think we've already dealt with him. This cavalry unit, the same thing. This dude, the same thing. Butler. Grant, we're just going to sit tight. Put these on offensive. Carson, just going to sit here. This unit here, I'm just going to put these on permanent sentry status since we're never doing anything with them. Same with this guy. Milroy. McDowell. Okay, so that's all of those. Let's go through our... We have some transports here. We have... This is our kind of our little blockade force. Again, they're not showing blockadey. I don't know why. Let's move this guy up, see what happens. I don't know why that's not blockading. Maybe we need to leave them. Maybe moving them up was a bad idea. I need to keep them down here. Let's try that. Let's bring them back down here, see what happens. Transports. Here's our fleet that's just hanging out in Fort Monroe. Let's take, say, one of our scouting squadrons. And let's put him... Let's send him down here so we can maybe get an idea for what's in here. Because I think that's where we want to hit. Right there. And we'll use this as a base. We'll build up a base here, and that will let us both threaten this way and this way, but it'll also, because we have a port here, it's a tiny one, but we do have one. And use it as kind of a base for our blockades. Or put a blockade force down here and use that to supply them as they kind of blockade some of this stuff, and maybe we can take some of these forts. That's Charleston. They should have some force there, one would think. Here's Foote. After his fight, he really needs to get his force back into Cairo here and recover. The Atlantic Squadron sitting out here. We appear to be in good shape. I think we should send some transports out to here to help with their supply situation. Palmer as well. There's our merchant fleet. Here's our flatboats. There's our little flatbread squadron. We're going to take this whole unit back to Fort Pickens, and then we'll separate this flatboat unit out. I suspect these flatboats can only be in rivers or coastal areas, so they can't probably come out in here. I'm not sure. Let's just find out. Can we go out here? Nope. So we'll put them back here. Blockade in the Gulf. Okay. Here is another. Oh, here's a new Atlantic Squadron we just got here. Number 4. So let's bring him down to here, and he is at full strength. Let's make sure we decide that first. Whoops. And combine him up in there. Our Erie force, we have a new Dakota. We'll stick him with the Atlantic Fleet. Transports. Okay, that's it. We're out of time. Next episode we will do our production, just kind of standard procedure. It looks like we spend one turn doing the moves, and the next one doing the production, and then execute the turn. So I will see you next time.